What's going on, guys? So in today's video we are going to be talking about why I think Exalted PVP is the most fun league. um, so I play Myth, Death, Fire, and Ice at Exalted now. I also have basically all of those and then some for max level, and then I used to do Legendary as well on my Fire and Ice, so I have some kind of credibility when it comes to talking about what leagues I think are the best or enjoy the most. At least to start things off, I think the best part about Exalted is everything is a pretty balanced league in terms of schools. Like, you come to the leaderboard, you obviously have a lot of balance because balance is kind of just broken right now, but you have life, you have myth, death, fire, storm. Same thing, ice is up here. You come to the max level league, you're not seeing that same type of thing, like balance, balance, balance. Like, it's mostly just balance. You don't really have the same versatility as you do with Exalted when it comes to playing certain schools. Like, everyone is a competitive school in this league, so for that part, I think is why I enjoy it. You can hop into queue on a face and still have a good chance at beating, maybe not fire, but you can go against a storm or myth and you can be competitive. So it's not like one school is just the best out of all of them besides balance, but that's a whole nother issue. Another reason I like Exalted League is the barrier to entry is nothing like Max. You don't need shads, you don't have to have crown gear to play, and that's says something about Max. Like, if you don't even have shad gear, you might as well not queue up. But for the gear, at least, a lot of it is just like the Chrysalis hat or Darkmoor. Yeah, you can use the fairy pack for the wand and amulet, but you can get away with using the Chrysalis wand. And then the amulet, I think on some schools you could honestly get away with using the Darkmoor chain on chain amulet still. For the ring, again, you can run Chrysalis on my ice and fire. I could run it right now and just change my deck to something different, you know? Right here. Well, this isn't exactly perfect, but I could swap the accuracy out for Power Pip, and it's like I'm still pretty close to the caps, above them. Let me swap to this. I'm still over the damage cap. I'm running a setup where my res is low, but Pierce is still right where I want it, so it's not like you have to have these gear just to play. Like, again, Darkmoor, Chrysalis Ring. I'm using Clockwork Horse, but that's personal preference or whatever, but it's just one of those things where you don't need to have just to pay or spend 3 hours minimum doing a raid where you may or may not win. And then overall, though, it's just more fun in that sense when it comes to the barrier to entry. So that's what I like about it more than Max. Legendary, it kind of just felt like a dead league. I haven't played Legend in a hot minute, to be real, but it's, again, better than Max. You have Ice, Myth, Fire, Light, you know. A lot of schools are just competitive at these leagues. I'm not going to touch on Master because that's like a whole nother video you could do on why it's pay to win, but for the queue times, it's not bad, which is what a lot of people will say, that's just a depth league, but you can hop into queue and get a match fairly quickly compared to some of these other leagues where if I sign up for Max, you get one instant. You're getting a match in Exalted within a couple minutes. And then you have people constantly scaling down and people who are actually true Exalt characters playing. So it's not like there's a large wait time to play. And for the spells, you're not having to train as much as you would for Max. Like, for Max, I know you can do some interesting setups, like Potato Monkey, he's crazy with the setups. what's his name, the guy who started the Surge, Jacob Shadow or whatever, he made that, which is cool. But when it comes to Exalted League, you're not really doing that kind of stuff. Like, you're doing gens, you can use your spellminted normal paths, and on some schools you might want to carry the snowman, but when it comes to the actual training, you're not doing as much as you would for max, so it's just a little bit better in my sense for that. You're not having to figure out what all the spellments do. You don't have to worry about shads and pulling a counter for that. Like, at max, you typically have the counter in your hand for it. The only thing that you might have to worry about is a balance using gearhead or just school identity in that sense, but your spells are all pretty easy to get to. Like, this is from Arc 1, Arc 1, Arc 2, so you're not having to do anything crazy like beat the game and then go train Rebirth on a storm, because the matches just don't last that long where you need to do all that. Like, most of my videos, at least on my fire and myth so far, they're all relatively short just because of how much quicker these matches are. You don't have to worry about jading, you don't have to worry about PvE nearly as much. I've ran into maybe 2 people that do PvE, and you're not having to worry about people that have 7k health or 14k health, I should say, and then be alive with 150 myth damage, or an ice doing a storm strategy or anything like that. You don't run into that in Exalted League. You might have people have fire accuracy, but that's it. So you don't have to just worry about doing constant PvE counters. Like, don't have a reason to pack scale. I don't have a reason. Well, I pack snowman on my ice, but you just aren't running into that as much, and for that part, you don't have to just worry about as many things. It's very buff hit on a lot of these schools. You're not doing 5 traps and then 3 from the side just to set up your Scion or whatever, your gen. Granted, you do have to worry about shield counters, but Fire Elf and Elephant are still meta in this league like they are at Max, or Master even is doing that, which is another bad part about Master, is you will have people being able to do myth damage on life. Well, a lot of people do fire damage on life, but it's nowhere near that extent. You just have people running maybe 60 fire damage, which is very true to your school. So I think that kind of concludes the video. Hopefully you guys end up wanting to try out Exalt PvP. I think it is significantly more fun than all the other leagues. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy.